say is that I am the favorite child of God this morning. But because He's not a respecter of persons, because I'm the favorite child of God, you are also the favorite child of God this morning. He's not going to withhold any good thing from you. He's faithful again and again to be there for you. And He will always come through when you need Him. You see, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I am my dad's favorite son.
Amen.
Namely because I'm my dad's only son. And because I can say that, I know that even though my dad is in a pulpit of his own this morning, if I was in trouble, I could call him. And he probably wouldn't answer the first time. I'm just going to be honest. But our family knows if one of us calls the other back to back, right in a row, something major is going on. And it's not just a, hey, how you doing phone call, but we need each other in that moment. And if my dad, even though he may be in the middle of his message this morning, if I called him twice, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he would either say, hang on, I've got to take this, something's wrong with my son. Or he would tell my mom to walk outside the church and to call me and find out what's going on. But either way, he would make sure that whatever was going on, I was taken care of and the need was met. Church, the God that we serve, it doesn't matter what's going on in somebody else's life. It doesn't matter what's going on with another child of God down the road. When we need Him, He is faithful every single time to be there for us.
Amen. Yes.
We don't have to question it. We don't have to wonder about it. But we can know He's going to be there. Why? Because each and every one of us are His favorite children. And He will never let us down. He'll never come up short. But you see, because Joseph was Jacob's favorite son, because he loved him more than all of his other children, the Bible says, because he was the son of his old age, and He made him a coat of many colors. Now, church, the world has a way of glamorizing this scripture. And if you look at children's Bibles, illustrated Bibles, you're going to find a coat probably striped with all kinds of different beautiful colors that turned into this beautiful fashionistic coat that Joseph was to wear. But if you look back at what a coat of many colors really meant in biblical terms, it wasn't so much that Jacob took the time to make sure there was a blue in it, and a red in it, and a yellow in it, and all these different things. But what it really was Jacob took fabrics from all kinds of different sources, and he sewed them together into this coat. Now, if you really get down to it, the truth of it is, this coat probably was about as ugly as they came. Because nothing matched, nothing coordinated. It wasn't supposed to look like a rainbow. It wasn't supposed to have all these beautiful colors. But it was simply the different fabrics that Jacob could get his hands on and find and put together. But the Bible goes on to tell us there in the 37th chapter and the 4th verse, and when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, They hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Why am I spending so much time with these two scriptures? We're going to go through just about the entire story of Joseph. We may have to split this up and come back and finish it up tonight. But church, it's important for us, I feel like this morning, to realize it wasn't the beauty of the coat that made his brothers hate him. It was the fact that they realized their father loved him more than them. Why is that important for us to realize this morning? Because I feel it's important for us to realize it wasn't the beauty of the situation. Church, you may not be in the midst of a beautiful situation. The things that you're going through may not culminate together to turn into some beautiful garment in the world's eyes. But that will not stop the world from hating you because they see the favor and the love of God on you. What you're going through, the hard times that you face, the hard struggles that you have to endure, there's no reason for the world to hate you because of those things. But nonetheless, if you've been out in it for very long at all, you realize the world does hate us. The world does not care about us. The world does not love us. But it's because the world can tell that the love of the Father is greater for His children. It's not because my name is Anders. It's not because I've got a license that says I'm an evangelist. It's not because I've got the title of pastor. But it's simply because I'm a child of God and He loves His children. Church, though the situations may not be beautiful, hold on. Because God still loves you more than anybody else. Because you are His favorite. Let's go on through the account of Joseph just a little bit. Moving down to the 20th verse of the 37th chapter. Come now therefore and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say some evil beast hath devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dreams. You see, it wasn't just enough that Joseph's father loved him more than all the other brethren. Joseph had a divine revelation from God that his family was going to bow down before him. And that even kindled the hatred of his brothers even more. Once again, why am I stopping here to focus on this? When God speaks to you and shows you things and gives you divine revelation on things, the world is going to hate you even more. Because it's not only the fact that God loves us as His children, but He took the time to show us something. Don't get bogged down in the hatred of this world, but keep going on for the Lord. Now Joseph here has come to a point that the hatred of his brethren rose up so much that their solution was, let us kill him and throw him into a pit. The Bible goes on to say that one of his brothers named Reuben stood up and said, let's not kill him, let's just throw him into the pit. But nonetheless, the options of the brothers, their hatred rose up so much that their two options were, are we going to kill him or are we just going to throw him into the pit? And eventually, their options came down to the fact that it wasn't enough just to throw him into a pit and let him die, but let's sell him into slavery. Let's put him in bondage, because at least then we'll get something out of this. In fact, the scriptures say, what doth it profit us if we just kill him? But the brothers saw a group of Ishmaelites coming down and said, we'll sell him to them. Church, this is the place that Joseph was in. We read on down. We know the Ishmaelites came and they bought Joseph and they took him unto Egypt, where once again even they sold him yet again unto Potiphar. We read the account of Potiphar, Joseph being the slave of Potiphar. Potiphar saw there was something different about Joseph. And because of that, he elevated Joseph to be the second in command of all the house. Potiphar even went to say, there's nothing that you're not over save my wife. You can have anything save my wife. But even in that instance, while that was plenty enough for Joseph, the devil knew what he had to do. And the devil came and he put a seed within the wife of Potiphar that she wanted to lie with Joseph. And she went unto Joseph time and time again, the Bible says, would you just come and lie with me? Would you just come and get in bed with me? Church, the world that we live in knows that if we'll just take a moment to go and lie with it, to go and get in bed with the world. I don't know what your vice may be, but what I do know is each one of us has weaknesses in our lives. Amen. And the devil knows not to come against us in our strongholds, but he knows to come at our weakest moments. And whether that be through him saying, if you'll just take a sip of this alcohol right here, it'll take the edge off. If you'll just pick up this cigarette right here and take a little puff, it'll take the stress away for a moment. If you'll just find a woman to go and enjoy the evening with, it'll take your mind off things. If you'll just go find a man that'll provide for you and care for you, it'll make your life so much better. You see, the devil knows exactly where our weaknesses are. And that's where he's going to attack us again and again and again. And church, the thing of it was, Joseph, in all those attacks and all those continual things that the Potiphar's wife came against him and said, just come, just this one time, it'll just be our little secret. Just come and lie with me. Joseph said, how could I? How can I go against the Joseph had a resolution, a commitment about him, that he wasn't willing to let down the standard no matter what come may. But even that, the devil wasn't happy with. And the devil wouldn't let it go. So the Bible says that one day Joseph came into the house to do the work that he was supposed to do. And once again, Potiphar's wife came into him and said, Joseph, just come and lie down with me. And Joseph, seeing the situation, said, no, I can't do it. But Potiphar's wife took hold of his coat. And it said Joseph got out of his coat, left it there, and took off. Said, I don't want any part of this. I've got to get away from it. But the Bible continued on to say Potiphar's wife rose up with a loud voice, crying, and got the guards and every person around to come. And she said, look, Joseph came into the house and tried to lie with me. But when I raised my voice, he got out of his coat and he ran. She didn't tell the truth. But it didn't stop the fact that word came unto Potiphar. And it didn't stop the fact that Potiphar, the Bible says, his wrath was kindled against Joseph. Church, let me tell you something. If the devil can't get you in a vice, he will lie about you to everybody around you. And he will make your name be as mud. Make you appear as though you are worthless. Brother Christopher, how do you know this? Because I've been lied on. When I did nothing wrong, it's not to say I've not done my wrong things. Church, let me just go ahead and tell you, I've done plenty of things that were wrong along the way. But as I told you Wednesday night, I was a sinner. But thank God I was saved by grace. And it set my foot on a new place. And when He set my feet in a new place, I moved forward with the Lord. And I said, I won't do those things anymore, but I'll go in the right way. But that didn't stop the devil from lying on me. It didn't stop. Let me just go ahead and lay it all out there, I suppose. It didn't stop bishops in the church from saying things about me that weren't true. When the devil knew that he couldn't have me, it didn't stop him from trying to tear me apart and make me completely and totally worthless to God. Why am I bringing all this up? It goes back to our Sunday school lesson this morning. Because there was a commitment within Joseph that all these things happened to him. He was not willing to give up on God. We know that from the house of Potiphar, where he was lied on, the wrath of Potiphar was kindled, and he threw Joseph into prison. But church, even in the midst of prison, Joseph would not let go of God's unchanging hand. Church, as I said, I think we'll have to split this up into 2 parts. That's okay. But what I want to focus on, what I want to get across to you this morning, is it doesn't matter the situations that the devil throws against you. You've got to have a commitment that come what may, I will stand for the Lord. If the devil's throwing me in a pit somewhere, if I'm getting sold into slavery, if my own family wants to kill me, I'm going to hold on to God, and I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm not going to turn to another. I'm not going to go somewhere and find peace and comfort for a moment, but I'm going to hold on to God. If I'm in the midst of being lied on and torn apart, I'm going to hold on to God because He's worth it in the end. If I've been thrown into the worst prison there is, held in the gates and the chains and the stocks, I'm going to hold on to God because my commitment is greater than my situation. Church, we've got to be committed in this day and hour. I've been parts of churches, members in churches, that would run 40 and 50 people on Sunday morning. And those same churches would be lucky if they had 15 people on Sunday night. And those same churches would be even luckier if they had 10 people on Wednesday night. And I'd look around, and the pastor would be carrying the load of not only preaching and ministering to the sheep, not only visiting and caring for the members, but everything that they had to do, the pastor had to do. Every event that took place, the pastor was the one carrying the load for it. Everything that was going to get done in the church, the pastor had to take care of that. Because the people lacked commitment. Church, I'm not saying that to put you down. You guys do so much to help me around here. There is in no way, shape, or form is that supposed to be a slap on your wrist. But what that is just an example that in the world that we live in the day and time we live in, commitment is the problem all the way through. Times get hard and we start giving up. Something's got to be done and we start saying, well, that other person can take care of that. It requires a little bit of effort and a little bit of labor and a little bit of sacrifice. And oh, we'll get up on Sunday morning and we'll sing I Surrender All with the best of them. But when it comes time to make that sacrifice, our commitment is not such that we're willing to do it. Church, as I said, this is not trying to come against you. This is not pointing the finger at anybody here. But it's sharing my heart to say that every single one of us are in danger of giving up on that commitment. As I said in Sunday school this morning, we live in a world full of choices, full of options out there. And because of that, there is opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for our commitment to mean nothing. For our loyalty to turn somewhere else and find something that doesn't require a sacrifice in that moment. That feels a little bit better in that moment. That's a little bit more comfortable for us in that moment. But your commitment has to be greater than that. Church, Joseph could have never shared his dreams with a single person. Joseph could have grown bitter and angry with his brothers for throwing him in that pit and selling him to the Ishmaelites. Joseph could have lied with Potiphar's wife. And fulfilled that fleshly desire. Joseph had options. But his commitment was so great that he said, how can I turn anywhere else? How could I defile the name of the Lord God? Church, where does your commitment lie this morning? I came across a story. Depicts a father taking his daughter out, teaching her how to drive. And as they're driving, a storm comes upon them. And it begins to rain. And the daughter looks over at the father and says, Dad, I think I'll just pull over and stop the car. The father said, no, you need to keep on going. And it started raining harder. And cars all around them started pulling off to the side. And she said, Dad, I think we need to pull over and stop. It's getting too bad out here. The dad said, no, you need to keep on going. Went a little bit farther, and it kept getting worse and worse. She was the only car that was still going down the road. She looked and she said, Dad, I really think it's time that I need to just pull over and stop. And Dad said, no, you need to keep going. You need to keep on going down the road. After a few more minutes, they came out of this storm and the sun began to shine. The father looked over and he said, honey, okay, you can pull over now. The daughter pulled over, got out of the car and looked back and said, Dad, I don't understand. Why wouldn't you let me pull over? The dad looked back at her and said, honey, I want you to look back. And as you look back, you can see those cars that pulled over on the side of the road. And they're still sitting in the midst of that storm. But because you kept going, you got through the storm. You got out of it. You kept going forward. Church, stand with me if you would this morning. I don't know where you are today. You might be in the midst of being the favorite child and being presented with that coat of many colors. It may be ugly, but at least you know You're the favored one. You might be in a big old pit with everybody around you hating you. People that you thought cared so much turning their back on you. You might be in the place where you're in a good spot. But you got that nagging devil coming and just won't leave you alone. You might be in the midst of being lied about and torn apart and having every evil thing said about you that could be. You might be in the midst of a prison. We know, and we'll get there this evening, Joseph didn't stay in that prison. He went on to go to the palace. You might be in a palace today. But you know what? The Bible went on to tell people, this too shall pass. So what I'm getting at this day, I don't care what situation you find yourself in right now. It might be good, it's going to pass. It might be bad, it's going to pass. But where's your commitment at in it all? Are you willing to hold on? Are you willing to keep going forward? Church, I just want to tell you, encourage you. The truth of it is, as long as you have breath, you have an option to give up. But to give up in the midst of the storm is just going to leave you right there in the midst of the storm. But if we'll hold on to our commitment, if we'll keep pushing, if we'll keep pressing, if we'll keep going forward with the Lord, we'll get through the storms.
Amen.
But we've got to be committed. We've got to be sold out. We've got to be willing to surrender everything and carry on with the Lord. I want us to find a place to pray here this morning. And I want you to reaffirm your commitment with the Lord. Find out where you're at in your life. If it's in the pit, if it's in a place of despair, still be committed. If it's in a great place, still be committed. But make sure you're committed no matter come what may this morning.